Hey, what is up guys? iDeviceHelp here. Welcome back to the channel. Now today I want to talk about something that Apple could be doing soon that will change the history of iOS forever. Ever since Apple announced the iPhone and the App Store, there's only been one way for you to install apps on your iPhones officially, and that is through Apple's App Store. Now Apple claims that the reason they do this is to protect the end user, to prevent any spyware or malware from coming into your device, any hacks or anything like that happening on your iPhone. But that could all be changing due to recent regulations in the EU. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Sideloading. Yes, I'm sure you've seen the headlines where Apple is set to comply with EU regulations by 2024. And I want to talk about the implications that this could have on the iPhone in the near future. So let's just dive right into this one. Now, as always, if you would like to stay up to date with the latest iOS news and Apple software updates, of course, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on those notifications so that you don't miss another episode. Now, I have to be honest, I still can't believe that Apple is definitely working on sideloading for the iPhone, as reliable sources continue to confirm that Apple is indeed laying grounds for iOS 17 to allow users to sideload applications onto the iPhone. Now, of course, Apple has to comply with EU regulations by 2024 to allow users to install apps from third-party app stores onto the iPhone. But before we get to any of this information, I wanted to talk about what are some of the implications of sideloading and how this could have a negative or positive impact for some users. So let's just go ahead and talk about sideloading first. What is sideloading? Now, sideloading, for those of you that may not know, is basically the ability to install apps on your iPhone without having to go directly through Apple's App Store. Now, the reason Apple says they're against this is because you can download an application onto your iPhone that could potentially put your privacy and personal data at risk, or even worse, also go ahead and corrupt your device by enabling the camera or the microphone without you knowing. It could be spyware, malware. You never know what's going to happen when you install third-party software. However, giving the users freedom to choose is also a good thing for many users. Now, keep in mind, Apple could allow sideloading in certain regions where law is required, but maybe in the US they won't allow this. Who knows how Apple is going to handle this situation, but there's implications with sideloading, definitely. Now, I've been doing it for years, but I understand those types of implications. I've been doing it with the Alt Store. This is my alternate app store right here. Of course, this is the App Store, and this is the Alt Store. This basically allows me to install any app that Apple doesn't allow into the App Store. Just a quick example of that is, let's say, a jailbreak application. Right here, we have two options I can download or open in the Alt Store right here, and I can click this, and this will allow me to open this application into the Alt Store and install it using this alternate app store. So basically, that is sideloading, the ability to install apps that Apple typically doesn't allow you to install through the App Store by choosing yourself to install it using an alternate resource. However, Apple has definitely started laying the grounds for this. I've noticed that there's some changes within iOS that implicates that Apple is definitely allowing this in the future. For example, Apple has also added a new developer mode option, which is also required in order to allow these applications to be installed onto the iPhone. So there's hints within iOS 16 that Apple could be laying the grounds for future releases of iOS, like iOS 17 in the near future, to allow sideloading on the iPhone. But I think as long as users understand the implications of what this could mean for them, what types of impacts this could have on personal and privacy, of course, as always, on your device as well, then I guess as long as they agree to those types of situations occurring on their devices, then users should have the right to install any apps on their devices. And so hopefully this video will help you understand a little bit about sideloading and what some of the implications may be in the near future. Again, Apple doesn't have to comply until 2024. iOS 17 will most likely be launching in September of 2023. So we may not see this initially within the latest iOS 17, but in the future, iOS 17.3, 17.4, in the year 2024, Apple may add this as another new feature to the platform. Let me know what you think about sideloading altogether. Do you think it's okay for Apple to allow users to install apps outside of the App Store? Do you think it's okay for users to have the right to choose, or do you think Apple is doing the right thing by restricting the user to only the App Store and apps that are being reviewed by Apple themselves? I would like to hear your thoughts on those comments down below. Hopefully this video will help you understand this a little better, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.